I don't want to have to set this up. Oh, so his face, skin, face skin doesn't have the ring over his head. Okay. Oh, it also doesn't have one a shoulder pads. Huh. It looks like everybody loaded in, but it's Rom now. Rom probably.
The pyre will be filled with blood.
Prepare for battle. Five, four, three, two, one. The battle has begun.
Oh, oh, oh.
Not today.
Got it. Ah, I couldn't make the turn on. Oh, my skin, my eyes. Shoot, gotta go. Time to go. Time to go. Time to go. Oh no. Time on. Are you serious?
Not today. Get them.
Oh, gotta get resilience for her now. no, 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 no. Ah! I'm out, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out. Okay.
Spree. 15 seconds remaining. 9, 7, 6, 5. Overtime. Killing spree.
Damn fun. Are you kidding me? We capped that and didn't know. So.
Point spawning in 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, time to go. Time to go. Ah. Get on what?
Overtime.
Get them!
Sheriff! Oh, Stano, Stano, Stano! Shoot the cart, shoot the cart. Ah. Oh. Oh. Come on.
15 seconds remaining. Now's your time.
Whoa. Nice.
Thank me later.
Point spawning in 15
Oh no,
seconds.
Sarah's so weak. Meanwhile, while she killing people. Like seriously. Why is it so hard for people to shoot and kill at the same time? They're like, Sarah's a heal pot. You're using her wrong, that's why.
Stay together. Not today.
Oh. She's on top. I'm tired of them just staying on top. You're not gonna win that fight! Oh shit. shoot, I lost track of. I just gotta wait this roll. Whew. No! Yes! 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 Again, you can hold both our buttons. They went straight damage setup, but they wasn't holding her healing. If you have this as a one, you can just put the other card in. Okay, one more. Also, a lot of cards changed the other day. Yeah, yesterday now on Yu-Gi-Oh. Names will change and stuff. I just hope the cards are probably fixed.
Team deathmatch. Choose your champion.
Ah,
Customize your champion.
come on.
I am wrong, Lord of the Abyss.
I okay. From what I can tell, two ways you can rejuve work. Rejuve is a percent base, so it stacks on top. So instead of being 2%, is 8%. I gotta see the number with you. I think it's 6%, but it could be 7 or 8%. I think it's 8% actually. Come down because I think the max is 24. So if the max is 24, um, if it stacks on top, it will add. It will become shit 28, 20, 26% per soul, but that's not how it works. Because if it was that way, each soul would heal 26%. Well, it doesn't. That means your team will be unkillable. So the other way is it multiplicative, where it's 28% of that 2%, which is just play out to 2.26% or 2.28%. I can't remember.
The
I had to
pyre
look at it.
will be filled with blood.
No, no, too late. At 24. Okay, so 26. So it's 2.24%.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, come on.
Let the battle begin. Good luck. The battle is about to begin.
Snipe! How did she mark me? Okay, I thought she was there. Well, I'm like, how did she mark me? Whoa! Ha! you you want revenge? Drop the wall! Drop the wall! Oh, come on! I can't see. I can't see. I I can't see. Also, I forgot to turn this back on. Woohoo! Get stop him! Rob say he's tired, yo. Uh, oh, shit. I can't see. I can't see. you bastard. Oh, correct. Correct. Ah, because she. Ah. Oh, I thought she died. Yeah.
Victory. Still die. Okay, that's fun. Alright, I would do the other mode, but I am still not feeling great. If this keep up, I might have to go to the doctor. At first, I thought I have an episode, but it doesn't seem like it. But it could be. Could be like a super mild version of it, but it's still effective. But I start out okay. Right here at the start of it, I was getting used to the setup. This master might pick him first, so I couldn't pick him. So I was getting used to the setup, and now it coming along a long losing streak. But I'm getting used to the setup now. All it takes is a bunch of frontline, my team to go rejuvenate. Oh, but yeah, I'm going to get some rest. I'm gonna have to try the car. Oh, maybe later today, but I can't do it right now. I thought oh, I forgot that pops up. I thought I'm hoping it's not the case, but my head it's been slowly hurting for like the past 2 days, so I'm like, it might be a mild episode because normally I can't do anything for like almost a week when I have one of these, and yeah, it's not as bad as normally is, but it's still pretty problematic. But I'm hoping everything will be fine.
All right. Wow, that was 3 hours. Yeah, like a whole half an hour was just to talk to that person who didn't understand what I was saying. I'm saying Symmetra secondary fire was too strong, so they nerfed the damage. That's really all they needed to do. That's all they needed to do, but they overshadowed it by upping the time, making smaller stuff. Okay, let me. I'm gonna go to the site. I'm gonna go to. I'm already on the site. I was already on it. Why? Because I was reading it earlier. And why was I reading earlier? Because I was like pay attention to stuff. So, oh, the hotfix is out. No, that's World of Warcraft. So what they say is, quote, I was about to read the top. So basically, they give an introduction. They saying that you would think she will be weaker with in the same setup, but it turns out we expected the change of symmetric teleport and secondary fire projecting speed to be the primary source, primary solution, sorry, primary solution, but it was overshadowed by the other nerfs. I'm going to put this in the text so it shows up. It was overshadowed by the other changes. This is them telling you you're focused too much on the other nerfs. Then they go on and say one of those nerfs is no longer regener- uh, no longer regaining ammo on barriers. It wasn't the fact she didn't lose ammo; it was the fact she gained ammo. That was the problem. So if they're a tank slash frontliner or whatever they're gonna call it in a change, in the on the other team with one barrier, you literally was gaining ammo while shooting their barrier. That's why they removed that. It was overpowered. But to balance that out, they gave her more ammo capacity. So we which we remove and put more power back into the ammo capacity since barrier is less prevalent. So they put more ammo in. But doing putting more ammo into that gave her more uptime on her primary fire. I'll reach for some. This is what they don't want to say. This is what they miss altogether. Our reason for some of the other nerds was that of the other nerds was that Symmetra is already a statistically strong hero. They are telling you Symmetra was already strong, but then they go on to say we fear the other change will push her over the edge, which means going from strong to broken. Are they people? I'm not. In one instant, yes, they did say her win rate may be inflated, but it's not inflated by 20%. It's not inflated by 10%. It may be inflated by 2 to 4%, maybe 5%, but that still put her in above everybody else. Even if I give you 5%, she's still above everybody else because everybody else is literally 50 and below, and she's 60. They're in the 50 and below, and hitting 60% win rate. We fear that these changes will push over the edge, which they would have they've kept the same. So they balance her out in that way. So what they're doing with the other change is they're not upping her damage on her secondary fire at all. They are changing the what they're changing is what I'm saying they're going to do, which is they changed the size back to point 0.5 instead of point 0.4. The secondary fire is they changed the secondary fire back. I don't know if it was point 0.2. I mean point 0.1 or point 0.2. I have to check the uh patch notes. Let me go to the patch notes because I think she was point 1 0 1.1. I'm not sure, but I'm going to hop on the other patch notes. But they are changing it to point 0.1 or to 1 second flat, and because of that, this is what I'm telling you that was is gonna be her primary fire. Her primary fire is going to equal the same power as a secondary fire up to 2 seconds. After that, the primary fire is going to outpace the secondary fire. So, okay, no, it was 1 second. Yeah, okay. So, so it was 1 second. So basically, they're reverting. Like I said, they had one buff to four nerfs on each of these. It's on her secondary fire and teleport, not everything. But on her primary fire, they had one buff to one nerf, balance, not a problem. But on her secondary fire, they had one buff to three nerfs, or equal, because um the last two are just equal. I mean, the ammo cost is going from 7 to 10. The ammo capacity went from 70 to 10. It's still 10%, not to change. But in people mind, that was a nerf. And the projectile speed double. That's a buff. The the damage went down. That's a nerf. The size was smaller. That's a nerf. The ammo cost, which is an equal over, is a people saw that as a possible nerf, but it's just equal over. So that's the change. And the charge time went up by zero point 0.2 seconds. That's a nerf. Overall, this one is one. You could say it's 1.5 to 3, but it's still 4 to 1. That's 2 minutes. The teleport, the build time went down by a second. That's a buff. Max light time, 10 seconds. It was used to be infinite, so that's something nerf. The cooldown went up 10 seconds. That's a nerf. The place and start on when you put it down, buff, nerf, equal. Again, that's another equal. But the health of it went down by 100. That's a nerf. Again, same thing. 4 to 1. Even though one of them and both of them are equal, people will complain about that. Even though it's equal, because um, it no longer infinite, but it's the cooldown starts when it's placed. So it's equal or that, yeah. And the cost is still 10%. That's equal. But to people, they see four nerfs to $1. They see four nerfs to $1. Overall, they see four nerfs to $1. The travel speed is increased for the central turret. That's a buff, but it's the slower is down. So in her primary fire and her turrets is 1 to 1, but in the other three is 4 to 1. That's the problem. They put too much out at once. They did it too much at once. So people were complaining about that, and people had the biggest problem with the damage being drop off, not anything else. Even though that was a problem to them as well, but the biggest problem is the damage. But if you look at what they said, they're not changing the damage at all. What they are doing is they're looking at making so they're returning the size and the secondary fire charge time back to what it was before. So if they do that, those two things are gone. So one, two. Then you're left with one buff to two nerfs and one equal, right? And the teleport time is going from 16 to 12, which I think they're gonna put at 13 to give it a 3 second downtime. 3 seconds, people always say that's a balance. So again, they're removing one of the cooldown time, and that's one nerf gone, but they are not changing anything else. So again, it's 2 to 1 again plus one equal. So again, 2 to 1 is what they should have done, but they went 4 to 1. And people mind even the equal counts a negative. So even still, there's 3 to 1 or 4 to 1, depending on how you look at it. They should have went 2 to 1. You never go. The rule about buffs and nerfs is you never go over 2 to 1, and they did because when people see 2 to 1, they see, oh my, they lose their mind and think the champion's getting nerfed to the ground. When in reality, they're trying to balance the champion. What they should have done is exactly what I said: reduce the damage, um, reduce the damage up to speed. That's all they should have done. That's it. Reduce the damage up to speed. Ammo cost stay the same because it's going from 10% to 10% because it's going from 7 to 10. That's all they should have did. That would have been a positive, negative, and equal. Which means equal. When I say equal, is a 1 to 1 change. They didn't really change anything, but they 2 to 1. That's 2 to 1. With the teleport, build time faster. Lifespan, cool lifespan 10 seconds. Cooldown should went from 10 to 13, but they look at put at 12. Uh, teleport play spin that's an equal and a health doing that. Yeah. And again, still this will be closer to 3 to 1, but at the same time, it would have been more balanced than what they did. So they are changing very little, but they are going to either 2 to 1, 3 to 1 is still iffy for some people, but even in that case, it's still um something else. It's still improved. Everything else was 2 to 1 on the buffs and nerfs. That you don't go over three. You don't go over 2 to 1. Everything else was 1 to 1 except that one day, but they don't get that because they think Symmetra is weak, even though she's literally one of the strongest. Okay. Oh no, it's a second or five that got for Bastion. And but people don't understand that. They think, she's been nerfed to the ground. The problem people they were having is people were both relying on secondary fire because again, in 4 seconds, secondary fire and primary fire damage is about equal. At 5 seconds, secondary the primary fire is beating the secondary fire in overall damage, and that was the problem they had. That was a problem. People over rely on the secondary fire, and I'm telling them that they're not changing the damage because when you pay attention to what they're saying, the damage is staying the same on the secondary fire. That's not changed, but they're reverting two of the changes they made to balance out. Because again, they did the mistake of doing 4 to 1, four nerfs to one buff. You should never do over 2 to 1. Anything over 2 to 1, and people will go ballistic because they say, "Oh, you never heard the ground. You never this champion in the guy. You never this hero in the ground." How do I know this? Because I've been paying attention to games for literally my life, and anytime you do anything over um 2 to 1 in any direction, it could be if the person got four buffs and one nerf, people gonna say that champion is now overpowered. If the person got four buffs, four nerfs to one buff, you're gonna say the champion's been nerfed to the ground. And that's the problem. You have to balance out. If you take something away, You have to give them something to actually be able to take something else away. You have to balance around. You cannot and you cannot do a balance or something like this all in one burst. You have to like finesse it up. That's what I say. Anything above 2 to 1, don't do. You do the primary things you want to do. You do one, and then you do two nerfs. The one. I, what was the case? It's basically the same. I can't remember what it's called. Uh, but people see negative. What was it called? I can't remember the research. Um, huh. Also known it's also known that a negative positive is asymmetric. So the negative power asymmetric is negative base. This negative base means we feel a strain to rebel more powerfully when we feel the joy and of praise as but something like this. This is probably it, but um people overly focus on bad stuff more than positive stuff. And that's hardwired in our brains. So when people saw so many uh nerf, they say, "Oh no, they nerf out in the ground." Again, they wasn't. They're literally trying to balance it. I'm trying. I can't think of the actual study that I read. Like it's been like fuck, 4 years since I read it. No, no, it's been 4 years since I read the original. I read another one, a recent update last year or so. Basically, any positive is basically anything that's positive. If there's more negatives, more than two negatives, it will be offset by the positive. But for people and um screamers and stuff, and people on YouTube, you can have 500 positive comments. You can have one negative comment, and people will focus on that one negative comment. I'm used to negative comments because I literally debated conservatives. I'm, I'm talking about in real life and on YouTube and on all of the other sites. Conservatives have this thing where when you like I'm doing with people of Overwatch, when you point out any facts to them on why something had to be this way, they will go, yeah, but what about this? What about that? What about this? Or they will do what the person did in my chat. They were like, but what about my feelings? They literally go to the feeling. They, that person thought they was right because they play Symmetra. I'm literally coming in from an unbiased perspective because I don't play Symmetra. Even in my bias, when Yagarath would change, I my top play champion and paladin, but I came at the change to her ultimate as if how would this affect her gameplay at all? And when I first saw it, I was like, there's no question that change to her ultimate, give it a minimum range, will affect her gameplay in a negative way. You can watch my video on YouTube and even on here to see how I came at that. I didn't like it, but I tried to go at it at how would it really affect her gameplay. I knew I had a bias towards it, but I gave it a try. And when it turned out I was right, I was furious because that nerf actually was um three positive to one negative, but at the same time that one negative far more worse than a positive. They up her time, up her health. They did all this positive, but that one negative was a terrible negative. So I went in like, okay, they're doing all of this positive for her on one end, but is this negative that much worse? And yes, it is. So I didn't see. I saw the positive and the negative, but I knew that the negative was too much. And if you look at people videos on Yagaras and stuff, they will tell you, no, this that change was terrible. It was a big mistake, and I can't agree with that because the only range you would use her ultimate was in 50 units. Now that you can't do that, you can't use her ultimate, so it's basically the ultimate become useless. Like I said, but how I will balance Yagura Ultimate is have three different pull times to each time, depending on the range. I wouldn't have a minimum range. I will have three different pull times. I will try to make it so even if you pull close, it's still roughly 5 seconds to eat. In below 50, I'll give it the largest pull time to the eat time. Um, 50 to 100, medium pull time to eat time. Half and half. So say it's 2 second pull to 1 second to 3 seconds to eat at below 50, and I will give it uh, zero point 0.5 second to eat. And let me say it this way: uh, pull. I'm gonna start with pull first. I'm try to keep the consent. 2 second to pull. Below 50, 2 second to pull, 3 second to eat. 50 to 100. One 1 second to pull, zero point 0.5 second, 1.5 second to eat. Above 50 to above 100 to 150. Um, let's see, I say zero point 0.5 second to pull, like no 0 second to pull, zero point 0.5 second to eat. Yeah, I only do the eat time on the end because animation. If you the animation still have to go through, but it will be quicker. I'm trying to keep it from because there could be some problem with animation lock if you don't have the animation in. But they gave it. It's supposed to never miss. It still missed. They gave some in the buff to the health and the pull and stuff. But the problem is the ultimate still miss. So it will say master nerf because the one major pass they gave to it doesn't work. Still doesn't work. And that's why I'm saying that the changes to Symmetra is a balance. They have to balance her, but they did it too much at once. Anyway, I gotta get rest. My head is hurt. So they came here like, oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm literally coming at it from an unbiased perspective. That's why I'm telling people the changes to her is not as bad as you think. Was it over? Yes, but you gotta look at why they did it. She was too strong. They admitted that she was too strong. She's statistically the strongest champion, and that was the problem. But people don't want to listen. They just want to be upset because oh no, my precious heroes being nerfed into the ground, but they're really not. The Again, whenever you do buffs and nerfs, you cannot go past 2 to 1. You can maybe push 3 to 1, but you don't want to go higher than that. You can push it, but I wouldn't. But they did, and it flopped hard. Anyway, later I gotta get some rest.